Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot and I will be your intuitive guide and your reader today. I just want to make a few quick announcements. I am not offering private readings at this time. However, I do offer private sessions, private healing sessions, and I offer those with Holly, who some of you know if you've been watching the channel, but if you're very new to the channel, Holly is my business partner. She is a very powerful healer as well, and we work together to provide customized and unique healing sessions to our clients. So we are offering those at this time. You can check them out on the website. Please note that the prices will be going up come January. And what else? There's just been a super ton of activity going on in the collective. So today, I'm going to be addressing some of those energies, and then I'm going to be addressing in more detail over on Patreon at some point today or tomorrow, but I'm hoping to get that up today. So I'll let you guys know by posting in the community tab on my channel. You can check for the messages there. Just subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon so you'll receive all notifications for when I post a video or when I post a written post. And every time I post on Patreon, I'll let you know over there. And you want to check to see which tier this post will be at, because there are 3 different tiers and I share different information with different tiers. So you want to check that. And I think that's all. For the time being, I think that's all. I will also be releasing an abundance workbook that's going to be released on the website for sale, and that will be released at the end of the month here or early January. So I'm excited to release that to the public, and let's get going. So for today, beloveds, I have the the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. I have the Integration deck by Diane Garrison, and then I have the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So these are the decks that I was guided to work with for this particular reading. And as I mentioned, the energies are heightened. The energies are kind of wacky. You may be feeling very detached, almost dissociative kind of energies. We've been talking about this for my group, the group coaching program. We've been talking about this daily in the group chat, how everyone is feeling very detached, and especially from the 3D kind of the daily grind. Okay, so what's happening is we are healing on a very deep level at this time, on a cellular level, and that integration process from the carbon DNA to the crystallized DNA has begun. So many of you are seeing differences in your eating habits or patterns. You're seeing a dislike or distaste for certain foods, but then a craving for others. You may eat a lot certain days, eat not a lot on other days, drinking excessive thirst, and drinking a lot of water at this time. And just kind of like an overall, it's like a floaty energy, but it's a different floaty energy. It's not the floaty energy where you feel like you're an airhead. It's a floaty energy as in you're just kind of peacefully detached from the drama. And this is something that for some of you who are feeling this, your souls have chosen, right, to detach in this manner. And you are just doing so much work in other realms right now, and the parallel universes that are at play. And those of you who are star seeds like myself, your star family is they're here, they're present, they know what's going on, they're watching, and they're assisting where they can, where they're allowed to intervene. And so a lot of you are feeling closer to your star families or closer to your ancestors or guides at this time. So great time, guys, for rest, rejuvenation, and recuperation in the month of December. But again, I'm going to talk a lot more about that over on Patreon. So I'll be posting that hopefully later today or tonight. So we're going to start actually with the Spirit of the Animals Oracle, because I'd like to find out which animals are walking with the divine feminine energies, the divine masculine energies. And for those of you who are twin souls following my channel, I am now starting to expand to include messages for everyone who's on the ascension path, for everyone who is new to the path or who's been on the path for a while, people who are in the middle of the journey, people who identify as having a counterpart, divine feminine, divine masculine, twin soul, people who identify as a star seed, people who identify as an awakened soul, as a light worker. I welcome all all of you on this channel. And please note that it's just a label. And so those of you who say, I don't know if I'm a twin soul, but I do have a higher level soulmate, or I feel like I'm with a kindred spirit partner, those connections and those journeys can look very similar, very identical to the twin soul journey. So let's kind of drop the labels, guys, and let's just tune into our truth and tune into what it is that we came here to do and our missions. And that's really where I'm at on my journey as well. So I welcome you to free yourself and drop the label and just step into this place of authenticity and truth, okay? So sending out lots of love and light where it's needed today, which is everywhere on the planet and beyond. And just calling on my guides and my powerful light team for assistance in helping me to provide the most optimal reading at this time, with infusing the reading with divine truth. And I'm hearing divine justice today, divine justice. And there's some energy of like repentance. There's some energy coming from the divine masculine energy. Now, whether you identify as a twin soul or not, and even if you do identify as a twin soul, when I'm speaking about these energies, I want you to identify that energy within yourself, your masculine energy, your internal masculine energy, your internal feminine energy, so that you can properly understand how to best navigate through these energies and what it means. So they asked me here to separate the deck into 3 separate decks here, and I'm going to be choosing this card for the masculine, and we're going to be choosing this card for the feminine, and then this is going to be a card for unity or integration. Okay, so let's go ahead and set these aside. So unity, integration in the middle. So let's start with the divine feminine. She's got partnership, puffin. So partnership may be heavily on your mind, especially as we're in kind of a slower energy month here in December. It's not an integration month. It's not a purging month. It's an energy that looks very unique and different. And this month is seeing us slow down. Your brain might feel slower than normal. I was working with my personal trainer this morning, and we both had brain farts. We both had moments where he's like, wait, what were you doing? And I was like, wait, what did I just do? And it's like I had just done the exercise, 2 minutes before, but we were both just kind of getting lost in kind of this like reverie dream state. And I called him on it, and then he called me on it, and we were just laughing because we're just in this place of, and he has similar beliefs to what I do about, what's happening, world events, and why this is happening. And you guys know how I feel. You guys know where I stand. And it was just fascinating to watch us both kind of mirror each other in that way. And he is definitely a divine masculine. He is a divine masculine. He is a leader. He's a father. He's a husband. And overall, phenomenal human being. I'm very blessed to be, to have him in my life, and to know that, even just with trainers or coaches or anyone you're working with, guys, it's really important that you're aligned with their energies right now, because anything that's unaligned is going to be going or has gone through this eclipse season. So we've got this energy here of puffin. Puffins are interesting animals. You'll find them, if I'm not mistaken, in Iceland. I don't know if it's the national bird of Iceland, but you'll find a lot of them located or, living on the island of Iceland. And this is really about you being you, and this is about bringing that joy back, which a lot of us have kind of felt like the joy is gone or the joy is lost. So this is going to be about bringing that joy back into our lives in a way that it feels kind of more complete, more wholesome. Because for a lot of people on this earth, joy was partying, joy was drugs or alcohol or sex or, in some way like escapism. And so that's really changing. And that's why a lot of things feel kind of boring right now. And you might feel just bored or detached from your former life and all the things in it. But we're moving towards a place where joy is going to be about community. It's going to be about love, and it's coming from a place of, our relationship to food is changing. food is fuel. Food is not designed for us to gorge on. It's fuel for our bodies. So we're changing the way in which we look at food. We're changing the way in which we really look at relationships and everything. But this is about community, guys. So I'm not at all surprised to see this for the Divine Feminine. This is about partnership and community with others. I've seen these kind of communal living. I've had this kind of idea for a long time that this is where humanity is headed, that we're going to be planting our own gardens and we're going to be helping each other as neighbors used to do, and raising each other's children. And there's just animals, freely living and, being taken care of by each other, and this is like feminines working together. This is a lot of teamwork energy here. Now, this is also the energy that's within somebody who identifies as a divine masculine. This is your inner feminine energy, okay? So everyone is working towards this. Let's check into the divine masculine's energy. They had this yesterday, was it, or 2 days ago when I did a reading? So guys, they're in the same energy. So they're working through a power trip. They're working through power struggles. They're working through some ego, just some ego work. And this is a lot of internal work that the divine masculine is doing. He's bringing power into his life. And I feel like he's moving from a place of distorted, destructive power to divine power. Okay, that's what that's what I'm being shown and I'm being told. He's becoming, he's always been that advanced soul, but now he's starting to really embody that advanced soul energy. And he's realizing, just as we were talking about, that love and gentleness is his real strength. So you can see that the feminine and masculine are operating very differently right now. The feminine's working on partnership and community, and the masculine's working on his self, like his own power. And you can see how this is playing out in your own life, in the ways in which you might have had, a distorted view of power, or, held on to people or situations or jobs or money, etc., because of power and control. So this is also about the divine masculine. He wants to prove something to the feminine. So those of you in these divine counterpart connections, this is about the divine masculine saying, I will never give up. I will never let go, like the Titanic. I will never give up. I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go. He's like, I will never let go. And, I am doing my work. I feel like this is the point that he's driving home, is like, I'm doing my work and I'm not budging. There's an energy of not budging here, but in a good way. Whereas in the past, it might have been like, I'm not budging because you won't tell me what to do and I'm going to be my own man. And I don't want to have an ultimatum. And the feminine's like, fine, okay, you don't want to commit and you don't wish to participate in this connection. I'm out of here and I'll be walking the other direction. And now the masculine is saying, I'm committed to myself. I'm committed to helping myself and really changing those patterns. There's habitual destructive patterns of addiction and just the way in which the masculine energy used to respond to life, which was with bitterness and such negativity. I mean, the viewpoints that the masculine energy had, it was just like, life is, you're supposed to work hard and suffer and, like, what? No, that's not why we're here. Yeah, suffering is a part of life. Suffering happens, but we're not here to just experience suffering. We're here to experience the whole gamut of emotions, the whole gamut, pleasure and joy, and yes, sadness and heartbreak and devastation and everything, the whole rainbow of spectrum of emotions. So that's what the masculine is realizing, I feel here. And again, guys, he's really honed into his intuition and to the things that no longer work. I feel like I'm just hearing no more excuses is what the masculine collective is saying. No more excuses. And then, interesting, for the unity kind of consciousness energy we have, which would be the merging of the feminine and masculine, the union energy, we have horse, freedom. So horse, I believe this was the card the feminine had a few days ago. So it's interesting. I shuffled them and it's interesting to see the same cards and the same energies are coming up. Because I remember there's not a lot of movement in December. It's not a month of action or movement. It's a month of, it's a test of how, basically, like, how much can you stand still? Like, how much are you willing to just kind of let go and let God? And how much are you willing to receive rather than feel like you have to do, and go, okay? And also I'm being guided to say that for those of you who are worried about money or abundance in December and things slowing down, first of all, it's the holidays, right? So people splurge, they max out their credit cards and do kind of ridiculous things in the name of a holiday, but which is going totally against what the holiday is supposed to represent. It's supposed to be about family and coming together in community and love and support and joy. It has nothing to do with giving presents. But the thing that I want to say about this is if you're feeling kind of strapped for cash or money, just do not allow yourself to go into that state of constant worry and anxiety, because it's easy to do right now. What I want you to do instead is just focus on abundance and repeat abundance mantras. Money flows easily in and out of my life, right? I have a healthy relationship with money. Money is my friend. I love money and money loves me. Those sorts of things, so that you're comfortable spending money, but you're comfortable receiving money, knowing that it's just energy and that it's going to come back to you. It will, and January is going to see a lift off for a lot of people. In our private personal clients, Holly and I have seen a lift off of many clients. In fact, 2 clients have gotten significant raises just in the past few months. Okay, so it is happening. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, or you're feeling like you're going in the opposite direction, sliding backwards, just relax, just take a deep breath and trust in the timing. Okay, trust in the timing of your life, trust in the timing of this ascension process. But the unity consciousness is, I feel like both the masculine and feminine want to feel free. They want to feel free from restrictions of the mind. They're calling them adhesions. And I think this is a word that came up a few days ago. So there's some energy of like adhesions. Adhesions can be stuck to the heart chakra, the throat chakra, solar plexus chakra, any of the chakras. But those are being removed, because those are things that were limiting our ability to move forward and limiting our movement, limiting our connection with the counterpart, limiting our connection with abundance and with the divine and with joy. So this is about the greater purpose that's calling both counterparts in now. And there's an element of change here. You ever seen a horse that's running in one direction, and they're beautiful runners, just running, and all of a sudden they turn around and they run the other direction, and you're like, wait, they just changed course. They're very intuitive animals. There was a gut hunch. Something told them there's something in that direction. I don't want to go that way, so I'm going to go this way. And they turn around, and all of a sudden they're going the other direction. There's a change that's happening here that's going to allow these unions to start to come into physical existence. But again, guys, I don't want you guys to be stuck on that physical union, because what happens when we do that is then we lose our momentum in the other areas of our life. And for a lot of you who are leaders, a lot of you who are also readers, leaders, healers, you first have, especially if you're an advanced soul, if you're an old soul, you have your own personal mission to fulfill, and the icing on the cake will be the union. But first, there are things that you need to accomplish and that you need to experience, okay, that may not have been experienced without, or if you were physically in union. So those are things that we need to understand. It's not that the most advanced souls come into union first. In fact, it's quite the opposite. A lot of the older souls, most of them will come into union later than others. So the first waivers may not come into union first. So that's where people kind of have that wrong. The first waivers are leading the path energetically, but you may see us coming into union later because we have big missions to fulfill, and often multiple missions to fulfill. You'll complete one mission, there'll be another, or you're doing missions simultaneously. And they'll come to you as passion projects. They'll come to you as sort of this idea, this flicker of an idea or a feeling or an emotion, and you just need to act on that. And pay attention to your dreams right now. Pay attention to the feelings you have, the gut hunches. Those are all important at this time. Hi guys. Okay, so I asked about the divine masculine energy, and we've got the Two of Cups. So love and power is on their mind. Union is definitely on their mind. They've been rethinking a lot of things, a lot of the ways in which they may have abused their power, a lot of the ways in which they may have tried to control the situation with you, controlled their lives. You know, the divine masculine energy typically lives a very controlled life or lifestyle and does things, quote unquote, by the book or with societal expectations or standards in mind. They get married, they have kids, they buy the house, they get the job, they buy the fancy, toys and clothes and the boat and et cetera, but they're not happy, they're miserable, or they're empty inside. So they're not filling up their own cup in the way in which it needs to be filled, because these are advanced souls, very, very deep and very tender souls at their core. And they've just been going round and round with this kind of 3D notion of what happiness is, what completion is, what being whole is. And so what I feel like is that the masculine is craving this true union with the true counterpart. A lot of people tried to be the divine feminine and tried to be an imposter, and it may have worked temporarily, but it never works long term, and the truth will always be found out. And while these imposters kind of put on a show for the divine masculine, the feminine just quietly stepped back and said, that's fine. I know who I am. I know what my role is. I'm just going to let you go ahead and do what you're going to do. And I'm going to sit back here and respect myself. And I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to put myself in a third party situation. I'm not going to fight for somebody's attention. I'm just going to give that attention to myself. And in doing so, you gain the respect of everyone around you, including your counterpart, who's silently your biggest cheerleader, your biggest fan, and is in awe of your ability to respect yourself and love yourself. But in doing so, you showed the counterpart, this is how you love. This is how you truly, truly experience that joy that you've been seeking to fill that emptiness. You do it by putting yourself first. So you're showing them how to choose themselves. You're showing them what truth looks like and what embodying truth looks like, divine feminine. There's a bit of energy here for the feminine with the Eight of Swords. So there's a bit of energy of like being blindfolded to the truth, or feeling like your counterpart has blindfolded you in some way. The Eight of Swords isn't the most joyful energy. It's not the most comfortable energy, that's for sure. It's kind of feeling like you're all tied up with nowhere to go, or you can't escape these thoughts, because the swords has to do with it. It's the air element, it's the mind, it's the way we think. So it's your overactive brain or anxiety. So a lot of feminines have been plagued with anxiety, sleepless nights, insomnia, what the future is going to bring. And so what I feel for that is that it's interesting, very, very opposing energies. So the feminine's over here, thinking about kind of a little bit of doom and gloom energy. The masculine is over here thinking about union. So the roles have definitely reversed. The roles have definitely shifted, guys. So I see that the feminine is, as when I asked to clarify the Eight of Swords, I got the King of Cups. The feminine is holding back her emotions a bit. Okay, she's holding back on being honest with herself and especially with the counterpart. It's like as if your counterpart were to come forward today, what you would say to the counterpart would be, you wouldn't show them all your cards. You'd be holding back, and to some degree, that's a kind of a power play. The feminine's like, well, I have the power now, and it feels pretty good after a long time where the masculine had the power. Just be careful not to get too wrapped up in that kind of ego mania there, feminine, where, yes, you do have the power, but this is not about power. This is a relationship you're having with your own soul if you're a divine counterpart. And so But yeah, the King of Cups oftentimes is withholding his true emotions. He can appear stoic. He can appear kind of untouched or unfazed by things. And so that's really how the feminine is being observed by the masculine, is like, she is just unfazable. Nothing I do is phasing her. She's not reaching out like she used to in the past. She's not making sure that I'm there. She's not, validating the connection for me. She's not reassuring me. And so he feels like there's a sense of coldness here that the feminine is exhibiting, but I'm not surprised to see that with the Eight of Swords, because yeah, the Eight of Swords indicates some coldness as well. There's not a lot of warmth here coming from the feminine towards the counterpart, at least. But meanwhile, the masculine's over here working with the energies of love and power and figuring out how to find a balance between those two things. I just want to get clarifier. How is the feminine kind of observing the masculine? So it's interesting because I got the Two of Swords here, and I got Ascension, which is the World card. So I feel like the feminine is observing the masculine as moving through a major ending in his life, moving through, like, actually observing him as maybe perhaps more mature than he acted in the past, so coming from a more mature place. So this is good to see. So that's a positive energy. And the Two of Swords is a bit of a juggling energy. It's a bit of like, well, I have two choices. There's two pathways, there's two roads, there's two different sets of opportunities here. And it's kind of making that decision of, there's an imbalance. Like, the feminine observes the masculine as still being imbalanced. Maybe it's that imbalance of power and love that she's hoping that he can seek a resolution. She's hoping that he can finally figure out how to balance those two aspects of his life. And because this is dealing with the mind again, she sees him as still being in deliberation mode about which path to take, and it's frustrating to her. She's annoyed. There's a little bit of annoyance, or a lot of annoyance energy there. She's like, I mean, it's so clear. It's been so clear to her the whole time. And she does see him as moving forward. She does see him as definitely taking some steps forward, maturing, absolutely maturing, moving into a new cycle. But she does see him as still kind of not yet making that decision to step. It's kind of like, am I going to stay in the same place, or am I going to move forward? So both options, it's like, both options are almost equally interesting to the masculine at this point, so he's really going to have to dig deep to figure out what his truth is. And he's weighing his options. She sees him as weighing his options at this time, and not necessarily just not being decisive still. So I can see how that can kind of rear the ugly head of frustration for the feminine, which I'm not surprised. She's withholding. She's withholding her energy here. She's in a very, like, a tight-lipped energy. She's not saying much right now to the masculine at all. She's like, nope, Even if you're in communication, I bet you're pretty tight-lipped. I don't think there's a lot of outpouring of emotions happening right now. Maybe for, like, the third wavers, end of the second wave, third wavers, but not for the first wavers and beginning of the second wavers. You guys are pretty withholding of the energy. You've really, you're just not willing to disperse your energy in the way in which you used to anymore. You're really keeping your emotion close to you and conserving your energy. Okay. So the feminine's not giving as freely as she used to, which is perplexing the masculine. Okay. So what I feel like is happening here for the masculine is there is a transformation. We saw that with the World card. So feminine, you're right. He is moving through a significant transformation. And this is affecting his crown chakra. This is affecting the energy that connects him to the divine, to source energy, to God, to his guides, to his ancestors, to his light team. Okay, he's very, very, very connected right now. And he is connected to his higher self. So there's that intuitive card that we saw with the grizzly bear card. The power card is connecting to his higher intuition, his higher self. Realizing he's not separate from that higher self, but that his higher self is him. So the masculine's doing a lot of work right now. And on the bottom of the deck, guys, I see Ascension, which is that 8th star chakra, which sits above the head. It sits above the crown chakra. So this is the This is the Akash. This is that kind of swirling energy of parallel lives, past lives, future lives, all swirling into one energy. And this is, I mean, he is ascending. If there were any questions about, is the masculine ascending, is the masculine staying in one place? So even though the feminine's observing him, perceiving him to be in this kind of uncertain energy, believe it or not, guys, the masculine is ascending at a rapid pace right now. Very rapid pace. To see, they've been in the higher chakras for months now. The masculines, the higher chakras have been worked on, and you see the feminines, some of the lower chakras. Throat chakra is kind of perceived to be a higher chakra, but you see the masculine working in the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, the star chakra, really working to integrate those energies and working to really understand his role, his place on this earth, his place as a divine masculine, deeper and deeper. Now the feminine, you have the angel of, I would say discretion, but the angel of perception, okay, the angel of perspective, the angel of truth, the angel of also like, she overrides legal matters. So this is the energy also of law, the energy of fairness and equality, and the balancing of the scales. So yeah, you're definitely wanting the scale. You're needing to see that. That's why the Two of Swords came in. It's like, let's balance those scales before I move forward and give any more. The feminine's just not budging. She's not willing to give unless she receives. So we have the throat chakra, integrity coming through, speaking your truth with crystal clear clarity, feminine. So not holding back, speaking your truth. And that's power, that's power. That's why a lot of the feminines have been going through throat upgrades like myself, is you're going to be speaking your truth with more and more clarity and less worry about what others think. Just not caring, not worrying about, like, who cares what everyone else thinks. I'll be over here doing my thing and you can be over there doing your thing. And understanding that at the end of the day, feminine, the understanding that when you speak your truth and you live in integrity, that you're not only you're unfuckwithable, you're unstoppable, you're forced to be reckoned with. You're free from the constraints, and you've really shown the masculine, you've really led the way and shown the masculine how to be able to create this for himself. Like he's in a place of power because of you, with himself, where he really has started to understand, I don't have to abide by society's expectations and rules of what my life should look like. Sort of like, just because everyone is going out and doing this one thing, I'm not going to name the one thing, but it's pretty evident. And the news tells you to do it, and you're told to do it every day, 24 hours a day. And then there are those of us who said, no, I won't comply. And by doing so, you disrupt the order of things. You disrupt a matrix. You disrupt the energy in a good way. And then other people start to, you lead with your silence. And then other people start to question. Other people start to dig deeper. And that's what's happening right now around the world. More and more people are awake than are unawake at this point. It may not look like that. You may not be seeing that on the news, but it's true. And so the masculines have started to awaken in a way that they're becoming indestructible. They're becoming this force to be reckoned with. But it's because they've looked at the feminine. They've seen what you've done with your life and how you've been outspoken and how you've refused to just comply with what society expects you to do. Society expected you to get married and have a kid, or society expected you to take this kind of a job, or society expected you to go to college, or society expected you to whatever it was, be an artist, or your parents expected you, or whatever it was. Parents expected you to go to med school or law school, and you didn't. You became that writer, you became that poet, you became that adventurer, or you went off the grid, or whatever it is. And the masculines are starting to do the same thing. They're starting to, other people have questioned them. Other people have even questioned their sanity in recent months. Like, you're making all these crazy decisions. Like, are you okay? And the masculine's like, I've never been better. Releasing themselves from the ties that bind, from who they thought they were, or who they thought they were supposed to be. They are finding out who they actually are. They are unraveling from the matrix. And I do expect to see a lot of masculines walking away from jobs, losing their jobs, but I see more so walking away from jobs in 2022, 2023, 2024, and starting to really, like, what do I want for my life? What do I want out of life? And how am I going to make that happen? I'm not going to make it happen by sitting here following the crowd. I'm going to have to carve out my own way. Okay, I'm going to have to find a way to be my own man, my own person. I see a lot of masculines going into, and I've said this, I've been saying this for a couple months here, but it feels stronger now, going into solitary confinement by their own will, just becoming solitary beings for a little while. They're not going to be with anyone. They're not going to be with a feminine. They're not going to be with karmic partner. They're finished with the karmic partners. They're just going to be by themselves, which is the very best thing you could wish for right now for the masculine collective, is for them to be alone, for them to work on themselves, for them to spend time alone in quiet contemplation and reflection on their lives, on their choices, on who they are, on what all of this is. Because with the noise from the outside drowns out their truth. The noise from the karmic partner, the bullshit, the drama that the karmic relationship or partnership, if it's a work partnership or mother or job brings, drowns out the truth. They've drowned out the truth for so long, and finally they're going to get a chance to just go within. And not even the feminine. The feminine isn't even yapping in their ear. The feminine's gone quiet. The feminine's like, peace. Peace, right? Like, I'm out. I'm doing my thing over here. I don't have any additional energy. I'm conserving my energy, as my guides are telling me to. And the feminine's not wasting her breath anymore trying to convince the masculine of anything. She's just of anything. So you might have said to your masculine something like, do whatever you want to do. I don't even care anymore. Like, you're just so exhausted. It doesn't matter, And the masculine's like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. I'm so tired of trying to convince you of who I am to you, of what you are to me, of what this is, of what this connection is, that I'm done. You can figure it out for yourself now. So that's what's happening, is the masculine is figuring it out for himself. So let's get a card here from the integration deck for the union energy. Keep on getting multiple cards. Okay. Well, we've got the higher love card and the desire card, the root chakra. I'm going to take these two. Okay, I'm going to take the emotion card too. So we've got some heart chakra stuff going on here. Higher love. Bring me a higher love. Bring me higher love. Steve Winwood, right? Like, bring me that higher love. And then we have desire. I mean, passion. A lot of passion stepping through here from that fourth layer of the root chakra, fourth layer of the heart chakra, like that deeper love, and then the emotions that have been activated here as we peel away the layers. So I'm going to leave you guys with those beautiful energies of desire, higher love, and emotion. That is, and look on the bottom of the deck, many lifetimes. Crown chakra, the truth, the realization, the truth that we have spent many lifetimes together, guys. So there's a lot of passion being stirred up beneath the surface. Some of you will be tuned into this, some of you won't. Again, I'm going to head on over to Patreon here, and I will be typing up a report for you guys, an update for you guys. Check that out. And I send you guys lots of love, support, connection, joy, abundance, balance, and all of the things that are required at this time to get through this period. We're doing it. We came here for this. Remember who you are. I love you.